think the thing that's being forgotten here is just how much of the effort that is put in by the Zionist movement contributes to the ramping up of anti-Semitism. Some of it sits under the surface. Some of it is never going to go away. A lot of it is based on economics more than anything else. However, this movement, it stirs the pot in such a profound way that you can understand how people find themselves just summarily hating Jews and just saying that they're the problem. And the reason I bring this up is because of what happened last night. Now, we have said time and again that it shouldn't have to come to this. It shouldn't have to come to violence. And one thing we must be very clear on, this is the very early stages. We do not know the details about the person who shot these two Israeli workers at the Capitol Jewish Museum in DC. What we do know is that the Zionists have used this as political cannon fodder for all it's worth, because their message is not resonating the way that it once did. 14,000 that we know of, Palestinian children just starved to death this week, and they want to pretend like it didn't happen. They're going to sweep it under the rug, just like they're going to sweep under, as Jen has said so eloquently, it's 2 million dead Palestinians in the desert by the time this is all said and done. There is no accurate count as to how many are deceased already, how many will die as a result of famine, disease, and the like.
I'm infuriated with the media still using the same numbers that we had from a year ago.
This is pretty good. This is a pretty good Timbuktu, pretty good analogy. Zionism is to Judaism as the Westboro Baptist Church is to Christianity. Yeah, it's a bastardization and using it to do something evil.
But if there is a person more than anybody else, and I could go through a litany of different commentary from the Zionist movement. You all know what these people have to say. You all know that's the same talking point. But if there is a person who stands out above the rest of them, sure enough, the person just has to be in Florida, because of course they do. And that, of course, is Randy Fine.
The matter is the Palestinian cause is an evil one.
Yeah, and Congressman, there is a ceasefire deal on the table right now that the White House is hoping both Israel and Hamas will sign on to. Does this shooting change anything when it comes to the course of the war or the negotiations to end?
This is not a war. Stop calling it.
First of all, it is on Fox News, just like they also probably call it the Gulf of America. You know what I'm saying? They have their own language. Let's just go.
Keep in mind, I'm in the Florida Panhandle, and I've been seeing guys rocking the Gulf of America shit.
I'm sure you have.
Oh, it definitely worked.
End it.
Well, I think it speaks to the importance of the only end of the conflict is complete and total surrender by those who support Muslim terror. In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here. There is something...
What a fucking ignoramus on history. Like, what a he is such a complete piece of shit. Like, this is why I need a rage-o-meter, because of fucking Randy Fine.
It really makes you wonder why Trump had, you almost have to feel like Trump was told that he had to endorse Randy Fine. Because let me tell you, in several parts of the country, but especially in Florida, Trump's endorsement is a golden ticket. You get his endorsement, you're basically good as gold. You'll get in. And that's what he did with Randy Fine. And they moved heaven and earth. And our friend Josh Wheel, again, he's a good guy. He is. He tried to do what he needed to do. There was an insane amount of money that they threw into this race, which was you might as well have set it on fire. Randy Fine still ended up winning the race by 15 or 16
Are you talking about AIPAC throwing in a ton of money?
I don't know how much money AIPAC gave to Randy Fine, but I know he's one of their favorites. Like, he will espouse the lowest form of human excrement when it comes to the talking points that is thrown out there on behalf of the Israel lobby. There is no line he will not cross, including let's drop a nuke on Gaza, because that's how we'll solve the problem. This man is calling for in clearest terms possible the genocidal removal of the Palestinian people. Is anyone going to make a stink about this on corporate media? Who's going to talk?
I'm disgusted by this man. Like, he's the kind of guy, like, he's someone I want to punch in the vagina. And if you don't know what a vagina is, I'm going to tell you what a vagina is. Because again, married to a urologist, we went through residency and all of that. And when you deal with very, very obese men, what happens in their nether regions gets inverted, and it ends up looking like what the urologists, the residents, would call a vagina.
Well, considering how many years it's been since he's actually seen it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I cannot, and people, you know, if you follow me, I do not like mocking people's physicality, but when they're such evil fucks, it really makes it easy. It just is. He is such a piece of shit. And I love how somebody who has never served in the military and is probably a total coward is so gung-ho about killing people and talking about Muslim terrorists as if that's what Palestinians just are, Muslim terrorists. As if he has no concept, because he doesn't. This is also, like, to me, a poster child of many in Congress as to why we have a serious education problem in this country.
Z, we've talked about this. Jen, we've talked about this. I will repeat this until the cows come home. Always be skeptical of emasculated men, especially ones that are not in good physical shape, that are not physically attractive. And when they obtain a measure of power, they can be the most dangerous people on the planet. There is a revenge factor that goes on with people like Randy Fine, who want to inflict pain and suffering on as many people as possible. Because the fact is, and it wouldn't surprise me in the least, Randy Fine lives in pain and suffering every single day of his life. He is a one-track mind, power at all costs, at any cost.
He's evil.
And inflict that power as fast and as furiously as he can on as many people as he can. I am going to scream this from the rooftops. Casey DeSantis, you thinking about running for governor off of your husband's name? Having back-to-back DeSantises, why don't you do the state of Florida a real favor? Because you're a pretty gifted politician. Why don't you go to District 6 and primary?
This guy isn't stupid. And when he was young, he looked like a decent-looking frat boy, right? He was born in Arizona, raised in Kentucky, graduated from Harvard with a bachelor's degree in government, and earned a master's in business degree from Harvard Business School. He worked at McKinsey and Company, which is where a lot of this propaganda comes from. He became a corporate executive working in casino gambling. So you can imagine working in casino gambling, you have to be somewhat of a narcissist and somewhat sociopathic. And then he moved to Florida and ran. So the dude, looking at young pictures of him, he's not some ugly guy. You know, I'm not disagreeing with you, but he's not some ugly guy. He's not some guy from poverty with a chip on his shoulder. He is the cream of the cream of la creme de crop. You know, he's an elitist frat boy from Harvard who went to preparatory school when he was younger. He's that guy. He's that guy. He's that same kind of guy that are getting radicalized, the same kind of Gen Z dude that's getting radicalized right now into the far right in the United States, and that are going and signing up so that they can fight with Israel to kill the Arabs. He's the same kind of guy. He looks like this now. He did not look like this when he was younger. He's a preppy frat boy. He gives me the vibes of a guy that would slip you a roofie on a Saturday night.
I was going to say, we know he's been involved in stuff where there's girls that were probably paid for their silence. This guy, though, is the same guy just that we've had the misfortune of having in our state legislature. This is someone who is anti women's reproductive freedom. This is someone who is anti-cannabis. This is someone who really feels that he is entitled to control what other people do. He's one of those, like, they really do. He thinks that he's just entitled to tell other people what they can do.
These are the commanders in Gilead. You know, that's the kind of guy that this asshole is. That
Yeah,
Randy Fines is.
We'll finish out his wonderful statement.
Deeply, deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated.
We heard in Brooklyn.
And I agree with that last part. But, and if you took that and he was talking about with an Israel flag in the background and he said it's a deep sort of culture, and I'd be like, yes, I agree. It is. It's a very disturbed.
Yeah. And if he was talking about Zionism, we would agree 1,000.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it is. It's a very deeply disturbed culture and it needs to be dealt with accordingly. I agree. Israel needs to be lanced like a fucking boil.
You know, the
Honestly,
other thing that,
remember the movie Outbreak? You remember the movie Outbreak where they were going to drop the whatever it was to just get rid of all the people so they didn't spread their disease? That's the kind of shit that's going to need to happen in Israel. Quite honestly, those people cannot get along and function with the rest of us on this planet. They are incapable. They are incapable of functioning on this planet with the rest of us.
no, I agree.
If we were in a sandbox, they would be the kid that wasn't allowed to come back.